ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम्.
Guruji, can you record? I'm having a problem with my system.
Yeah, I started. Shri Bhagavanuvach.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम्.
Urdhva Moolamada Shakham
अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम्.
Ashvatham Prahuravyayam
छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि.
Chandamsi Yasya Parnani
यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्.
Yastam Veda Savedavita
अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः.
Adashodhvam Prasritasya Shakhaha
गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रबालाः.
Guna Pravritta Vishaya Pravala
अधस्य मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि.
अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि
कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके.
कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके
न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते.
न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते
नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा.
नान्तो न चादिर्न
Mana Paula?
समप्रतिष्ठा
Paula Alapitena.
Yeah, Srividya, please mute yourself. Ashwatthamenam suvirudhamulam.
अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम्
असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन छित्त्वा.
असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा
ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम्.
ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम्
यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः.
यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः
तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये.
तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये
यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी.
यतः प्रवृत्ति प्रसृता पुराणी
निर्मानमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः.
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः
अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः.
अध्यात्मनित्यान् विनिवृत्तकामाः
द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः.
द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः
गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्.
गच्छन्त्यमूढाः अपदमव्ययतत्त्वं तत् पदमव्यतत्
न
तत्त्वम्
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः
न शशाङ्को न पावकः.
न शशाङ्को न पावकः
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते.
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
तद्धाम परमं मम.
तद्धाम परमं मम
ममैवांशो जीवलोके.
ममैवांशो जीवलोके
जीवभूतः सनातनः.
जीवभूतः सनातनः
मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि.
मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
शरीरं यदवाप्नोति.
शरीरं पदवाप्नोति
यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः.
यच्चाद्युक्रामतीश्वरः
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति.
गृहीत्वेतानि संयाति
आयुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्.
वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्.
So, yeah, I think chanting you did quite well. The Trishtup Chanda and all, it's a bit long shlokas and too many conjunct consonants and all. So can be a bit tricky, but that's good. So we have to resume from shloka number 7. Yes, 7 and 8. 7 and 8 go together. So we began this shloka number 7. Mama eva amshaha jiva loke. Like that he started. So once again, Purusha Prakriti, Atma Anatma, Nirgunam Sagunam. Okay, subject, object, experiencer, experienced. Such a big difference it is. This is a clue to Advaita Vedanta. This is a clue that science constantly misses. And Pramata, Prameya. And so Krishna also is dividing his thesis. He wants us to think like that. And so here, this mama and all started coming. Tadhama Paramam Mama, he said earlier in the 6th shloka. Okay. Mama. Mama Dhama. So he's going to say, now don't look at me as Devaki Nandana. Now don't look at me as your friend. And I say I'm not referring to I, the one who was born in Rohini Nakshatra, Ashtami Tithi, Krishna Pakshaha, Bhadrapada Masa in 5000 some XXX BCE. No, don't think of me like that. I'm not that Krishna. Even though that is correct. Your research on Mahabharata is correct. That's about the time I was born on, right? And so I had all this. You know me as that person. No, don't think of me like that. Okay, and because Bhakto, Sime, Sakha, Cheti, and all Krishna had said earlier in the 4th chapter. Imam Vivasvate Yogam. There he said, right? Sa eva yammaya tedya yogaf proktaf puratanaha bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. I'll tell you the secret because you are my devotee and you are my friend. Like that he said. No, that is not the idea. So there are 2 or 3 I's that whenever Krishna uses the word I, we have to decide if it is Ekarupa Ishvaraha, Vishwarupa Ishvaraha, or Arupa Ishvaraha. We have to decide. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam. What Ishvara is that? What Ishvara is that?
Ekarupa.
Correct. Ekarupa Ishvaraha. Obviously, Vasudeva Sutam Devam. There's only one person who was the son of Vasudeva, etc. Rupa is the Ekarupa Ishvaraha. So Madhusudana, Mahabaho, like that Arjuna is addressing that Ekarupa Ishvaraha in many ways. Janardana, like that he would say. Then Vishwarupa Ishvaraha is there in the 11th chapter. Vishwarupa, Yoge. So Aneka Bahudara Vaktra Netram Pashyami Tvam Sarvato Anantarupam, like that he says. Anantarupam. Arjuna himself addressed, you are Anantarupam. And like that. Tvaya tatam vishvam anantarupa. So there Arjuna is addressing. So all this is there. So Mahatman, Parameshwara, you have these words in the Bhagavad Gita where you have to change the context. Context is different. So those things we have to be alert to. And so this Arupa Ishvara also comes. Okay? So even in the 7th chapter, Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mama Buddhayaha param bhavamajanantaha mam mamam mamabhyajamanuttamam. Like that, there are some shlokas in the context it comes. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina. Important shloka. Matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha nacha matstani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram. So all that. Pashyame yogamaishwaram. Look, I'm not I'm not Ekarupa Ishvara. I'm not even Vishwarupa Ishvara. I'm there in all beings, but I'm not there in all beings. This kind of language, if you see, you have to note that Satyam is talked about. So, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Shankaracharya. So, if you don't have a doubt, look up Shankaracharya. He will say, Parameshwaram Mam. Like that, he will say. So, suppose I ask a question. पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं So what is that Narayana? Ekarupa, Vishwarupa, or Arupa? Now first you should not ask me where is this Parthaya. So we used to chant, it is part of Gita Dhyana. The first shloka it's coming. Parthaya pratibodhitam. So Ekarupa, Vishwarupa, or Arupa?
All three.
Ekarupa.
If he's speaking, then it's Ekarupa.
So Ekarupa seems most reasonable because Parthaya pratibodhitam. Okay, told to Partha, to Arjuna, Arjunaya pratibodhitam, patitam, Parthaya pratibodhitam, Bhagavata. Okay, also called Bhagavan, Bhagavata, by Bhagavan, Ishwarena, Narayanena. So you have to connect Narayana to all the others. You have to look for other words to decide what Narayana means. So it seems like Ekarupa Ishvara. Because Vishwarupa also. See, Vishwarupa, he says, all mouths are my mouth. Like that he says. Here only one mouth is talking. Not many mouths. So I think it's safe to go with Ekarupa Ishvara. Just my guess. If you have any other ideas, you can tell me later. All right. So here, Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So he's bringing in the word Jiva. Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutaha. It's my part alone is in called as Jiva. Jiva Bhuta means Jiva Rupa. My part alone is called as Jiva. Like that he says, a part of me. Like that he says. Jivaha. Jivaha kaha. Means where will you go? At least tell me where you will go.
Jiva Bhuta.
Tattvabodha, Tattvabodha.
You have to go to Tattvabodha. Tattvabodha. You have to go to Tattvabodha. See, whenever we are looking for a definition, you have to go to Tattvabodha. So Jivaha kaha. Stula Sharira Bhimani. Jivanamakam. Like that there is a Brahma Pratibimbam Bhavati. Like that Tattvabodhakara says. Brahma Pratibimbam Bhavati, he says there itself. Shivanamakam, Stula Sharira Bhimani, he says. He says, yes. Whoever says, I claim this body, that guy is Jiva. Whose body is it? You just ask around, whose body is this? Whose body is this? Whose body is this? And everybody look at you like this. What was this guy asking? What? Till yesterday he was all good. Then it's your body only. If you say, oh, it's my body. Okay, my body. All right. So that whoever says it's my body, that guy is called Jiva. That is what he's saying. Jiva namakam stula sharira abhimani. Brahma pratibhimbam. He adds, hey, don't think it is separate from Brahma. Pratibhimbam. It is the reflection. Literal meaning is reflection. Hey, that same Brahma is there here in this particular form. Okay. Taha eva jivaha, he says, prakritya swasmat ishvaram vinnatvena janati. What does the jiva do? Hey, prakritya, by nature she considers herself to be different from Ishvara. That's the whole problem. That's the whole problem. Like that he explained that in Tattva. Okay, so that is the jiva. So So Swami gives the example of the light. Sun is reflecting on the sun is there, sun is shining, but the room is dark because the windows are all closed. And one window opens somewhere, that room is bright, but other rooms are all dark. Then you keep a mirror, and the mirror, from the mirror, suddenly the light is a huge stream of light is passing, and then you can direct it to any room you want, and the room becomes bright. Large mirror, those days movies and all they used to make with mirrors on large shining objects they used to. I think they must be aluminum foil reflector or something like that. I don't know if they used to have that. That large mirrors is not possible to transport. But anyway, so mirror. That mirror reflects light. Like that, this body is reflecting Chaitanya. Reflecting. Sometimes I use the word reflect. And as I said, be cautious about that. In the example of the mirror reflecting the sun, the mirror and sun are separate. The light and mirror are separate. So that part you should not take. The light is all pervasive, and the room can be dark, and for the room to be bright, there must be a reflecting medium. That reflecting medium is the mind. Okay? And a live mind is live, of course, reflects that Brahma Pratibhimbam, and then the body becomes alive. But Prakritya Swasmat Ishvaraha Bhinnatvena Janati. So Bodhakara said. The minute you put a live mind, then the mind begins to conclude all kinds of things. He doesn't know what to conclude. Because Prakritya, Anadi, Avidya Vasanaya, like that there is a mantra. In the mantras we chant, there is one mantra which says Anadi Avidya Vasanaya. I am due to Avidya from Anadi, I'm like this, but I seek blessing so I can remove the avidya. Like that, there is a mantra. Anyway, so that is the example to be put here. And so, how do I recognize that I have a mind? By looking at the person, you can say the person has a mind or not. The fact that the person is active and doing whatever, talking something live, that means mind is there, active. Mind is there very much. How do I know it is Brahma is there? Well, because of the mind. The body takes me to the mind takes me to Brahma. How? Because through the mind only you can understand Brahma. That's why Kutastha Ishvaraha, important word comes. See, when we talk about Brahma, because Brahma is attributeless, it is so difficult to talk. Now we understand how we take so many things for granted in all our conversations. Everything works. It has to have whatever you're talking about must have to have some attribute. When did you start? When? Means it must be in time. Okay. What would you like to eat? Like. So something you have to tell me what you like to eat for lunch. Do you like roti? Do you like chawal? Kya? Something you have to say. So a quality is required. Without quality, conversation cannot happen. Is this too loud? Not loud. Something, everywhere quality is there. So Nirgunam Brahma, only this human mind can appreciate this Nirgunam Brahma. And Swamiji gives another example of space. Space is all pervasive. Space is there in the room, outside the room. The room itself is in space. But you call yourself, this is my square footage, this and that. We make all these statements. We take ownership. Like the jiva, stula sharira abhimani. Like that. So like that all pervasive space is there right here also. Like that Brahma, that Purusha, that Nirgunam Brahma is reflecting in this jiva. That is the jiva. Jiva bhutaha. That is the word we are explaining here. So, So therefore, that mind which is like the mirror, which has the capacity to shine, that can allow the consciousness to shine, that is that mind. And in Shushupti, in deep sleep, what happens? What happens to the mind? The mind is not operating. Mind as though doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Just something is there to when I get up, I can say I slept well. That much. It's called pratyabhijna. It's called pratyabhijna. And then, all right. So that is the Chaitanyam is there, but the mind is not operative there in Sushupti. Mind operates during other Sapna and Jagrata Avastha. I'll come back to that Sushupti later. And so here, Mamai Jiva Loke. Okay, Mamaive Amshaha, that consciousness that you experience right now, can't even say experience. If you say I am conscious, that means that consciousness, Mama Eva Amshaha Asti. You are ignoring, you are taking consciousness for granted in your entire life. Given consciousness, given life, you can do so many things. Okay. And so that Amshaha, I am the Amshaha, Jiva Bhutaha. It's called Jiva, in the form of a Jiva. And how many Jivas will be there? Well, many mirrors can be there reflecting light, and it look all individual, independent mirrors are reflecting the same light. And so any number of mirrors, as many Jivas are there. One Paramatma, many Jivatmas can be there. Okay. And so this Krishna is therefore dividing that is his explanation, his universe divided into Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha and Prakriti in this manner. Okay? Prakriti means everything. The consciousness is manifest as this body, mind, sense complex. And so another example also is given. Electricity example. So here the light is on. The light is burning. And it is burning because it's on. It's bright. It is shining. Because there is something else that makes it shine. That something else is the electricity that is making it bright. Making it bright. If the electricity goes off, then the bulb will not shine. So if somebody asks you, is there power in your house, in your home? Okay, it's a common question in India. And then we have to say, hey, you can't simply look at the light is not burning, you can't say there's no power because it has to be on. And the other bulbs are all on. There the fan is working in that room, here the light is not on. Then only you can say there is no power. There's no power. And so you need the bulb also to work, and you need electricity also to be there in order for this shining to happen. Okay. And so Nirgunam Brahma is there, Chaitanyam is there, and the body must be capable of reflecting. And if the body is not capable of reflecting, then of course we say the body, we say what? We won't say Chaitanyam has left. We can't say Chaitanyam has left because body is also Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam is all pervasive, it cannot leave anywhere. It cannot leave. And so we will say Shukshma Shariram has left. Okay. And he's going to talk. Manashashtani Indriyani is going to come here. So, Mamaivansho Jivaloke. Jivaloke. All this story that is being told is only happening in Jivaloke. If jivas are not there, then consciousness cannot even be talked about in sentient beings. Okay? And so, jiva loke, mama eva amshaha, mama pratibimbaha, jiva bhutaha, in the form of the jiva as the same Brahma reflected in this jiva. Suddenly jiva, okay, living being. Sanatana, that also we've seen before. Sanatana. This jiva, when did jiva began? No beginning at all. Anadi. You can't trace the beginning of the jiva. Not possible. Yesterday a friend and I were talking about this Big Bang theory. So, this Big Bang theory that they are proposing, very interesting. It's I went to ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT, tell me in simple words what is Big Bang theory. I did that yesterday, 2 days ago, and he gave some ChatGPT said something, and then he said, "This is the origin of the universe is being explained, and then it's the point when the entire universe was collapsed into one infinitely small place, and then it is a period of singularity and all laws of physics break down, and then after that something happened, and then the whole that thing started expanding and a lot of cooling because it was hot. All these things gives all this story. Then I asked, what do you mean by infinitely small? Infinite I can somewhat understand, small also I understand, but you see infinitely small, it is like saying hugely minute, hugely minute. Hey, that's not correct, So wait a minute. What do you mean by infinitely small? That's what I asked. Then ChatGPT says, I apologize for creating some confusion here. This ChatGPT, they make it. I don't know how it works. They make it feel as though you're talking to a human. I apologize for the confusion I caused by using that phrase. It means this. It gives the explanation. And my friend made a point. They use the word Big Bang. They can talk about all processes after the Big Bang, but that time period, that status, it is still a hypothesis. It is still a hypothesis. That status of Abhyakta there, science has not figured out yet. Okay. And so can't figure out. That is the catch there. That's the catch. So even that may or may not be true. This infinitely small, hot, and super hot and condensed and all that is a hypothesis. Anyway,
Yes.
we'll talk.
So Guruji, they say it's not possible. Infinitely small is not possible. It has to have a starting state, and only then Big Bang takes place. That's what they say, or that's what, because quantum mechanics breaks down at infinitely small. Doesn't work.
Infinitely small. Okay. So, say, I asked my friend, wait a minute, does science ever talk about this time that you're talking about? When did the universe, the word when itself implies the existence of time. You're taking time for granted. Does any scientist talk about that also? And he says, no, they don't talk about it. They take time as given. For us, time. Tasmadva etasmad atmanah akashah sambhutah. Space and time also is a part of creation. And so, anyway, those are all beautiful ideas.
Jamaj, this infinitely small, is it like ani or aniyan?
No. Then we should not make the error of giving too much of benefit of doubt to those English words. You are saying that science has figured out and should this be? I'm saying no. I have to say no to your question because science hasn't even figured it out. There is no need to impose our idea on a scientific concept. Correct? They haven't even come up with anoraniya. They have not even come up with atma. So therefore, it is not anoraniya. So just FYI, think about it. Let's discuss. All right. So that is avyaktam. Pralayam. Sometimes we use the word pralaya for that. What is pralayam? Look, every day there is pralayam for us. What is pralayam? Pralayam means non-existence of the world. Hey, in deep sleep, nothing exists. You exist, that's it. And fortunately, I exist, so I can get up. So I exist. Okay? The whole world has disappeared. For you, the whole world has disappeared. Correct? I saw nothing. I felt nothing. I had a good sleep. That is called pralayam, by the way. But then it is called nitya pralayam. Nitya means what? Hey, it happens every day. It happens to every person. That is called nitya. Every animal, it happens. Nitya pralayam. Next. Mahapralayam. What is Mahapralayam? Well, that's a pralaya when the whole universe not disappears. Now, poor universe can't disappear anywhere. It can is manifest, it's unmanifest. Tree, seed, these are the only possibilities. So we don't talk about disappearance. And so it becomes unmanifest. Everything is unmanifest. Like what if you ask? Like your sleep. Like you are there in the sleep. Do you have a mind or not in your deep sleep? Well, the mind is there in some dormant form. How do I know it's in dormant form? Because when I wake up, all my problems come along with me. I thought at least after sleep, the problems vanish. Problems don't seem to vanish at all. It keeps chasing me throughout my life. That is why the mind is still there. The same mind is there. When somebody calls me next day, I do respond. I do remember my name. Everything is exactly as it was. Therefore, that is called Nitya Pralayam. This is called Mahapralayam. Mahapralayam also, the universe as we know it has gone unmanifest. Then what? Again, after some time, they talk about Trigunatmika. When the gunas get disturbed again, the Prakriti, Maya continues. Maya is always there, continues, and then another creation happens. Brahmaji has slept, and another Brahma day or whatever starts. Okay, this is our idea. So for us, this creation is endless. Okay, this is second pralayam. First pralayam is what? Nitya pralayam. Please make a note. Nitya pralayam, Mahapralayam, and then there is one more pralayam. You know what that is? It is what a jnani can say. The jnani can say, hey, this whole creation is mithya. There is only satyam. There is only satyam. The universe is a projection on satyam. Projection on satyam. So I am Brahma. The body is a projection on Brahma. Universe as though disappeared. Disappeared means what? It is no more as real as it used to be. That is called Atyanta Pralayam. The jnani can say, can smile at Brahmaji. It's over. Game is over. That is called Atyantya Pralayam. So we have Nitya Pralayam, daily sleep. Then we have Mahapralayam, the cosmic resolution. And then we have the Atyanta Pralayam. Jnanena Atyanta Pralayam. Okay, think about it. Anyway, that is by the way. And so, Sanatanaha Jivaha, that's where we all started this. And then,
Guruji, so that means resolution of Adhyana, the Atyanta Pralayam?
yeah,
Is that what it means?
of course. Or even removal of Ajnanam also, you can say. Nothing wrong. Resolution, yeah, that also, those statements are correct. All right. Now, having said Mama Eva Amshaha, okay, Jiva Bhutaha, then he is going to talk about what happens at the time of death of the human being. Very interesting it is. Okay. So here, See, mama eva amshaha jivaloke jivabhutah sanatana. Now you should go to shloka number 8 instead of the second half of 7. And there is in the second quarter, yat cha api utkramati. That means what? Utkramati means during the time of death. Okay, during the time of death. Okay, then what happens? He's going to say. Now come back to 7. At that time, then manaha shashtani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. Karshati. Karshati means pulls, drags. This agriculture, krishi, because there's a lot of pulling is involved. And so krishi, they say, related. Karshati means drags. Who drags whom? Ishvara drags manaha shashtani indriyani. Who is Ishvara? A. Ishvara is Jiva. Jiva is not dead. Dead when we say the body is gone, but Jiva continues to survive. So it seems that Jiva, which is me, which is the real me, why that Jiva is called Ishvara here? Hey, Mama Eva Amshaha. So you can call, okay, senior Ishvara, this is junior Ishvara, if you want. If you want, you can say. So that same Ishvara, okay, yeah, that is the main reason. And of course, the Ishvara, who is the owner of this body? If you ask, what? Who is the Ratha Swami? Who is this Deha Swami? I am the Deha Swami. This body only belongs to me. Nobody wants to own up this body. Nobody is helping me out. And so I am left with myself, what to do. So therefore, I am the Ishvara of this body. That way also, Swami, right? And so that Ishvara, what does he do? Manaha Shashtani Indriyani Karshati. He drags along with him. What can he drag? Does he drag the body off? No. Body is sitting still, right? Here it is still sitting. Life is gone. Body is very much there. Therefore, body is not mentioned here. And what does it drag? It drags what? What can it drag? It can drag what?
Sukshma Sharira.
Sukshma Sharira.
Sukshma Shariram. Exactly. It can drag the Sukshma Shariram, which means what? Manaha. Okay. Sukshma Shariram. Kim Tattva. We have to go to Tattva. So it's good to remember these things. Periodically, I think in your Adhyasa class, you can bring in these. Sukshma Shariram Kim Apanchikrata Pancha Mahabhutai Kritam Satkarmajanyam Sukha Dukkha Bhoga Sadhanam Jnanen Pancha Jnanendriyani Pancha Karmendriyani Pancha Pranadayaha Manaschaikam Buddhischaika Evam Saptadasha Kala Bisaha Yattishtati Tat Sukshma Shariram. I think I got it. Okay. So that is Sukshma Shariram. So that's what he's saying. Manaha Shashtani Indriyani. So Panchindriyani plus Manaha is Shashta Indriyani. All these things. What happens? Karshati drags. And there is a beautiful mantra in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. You know what it says? Eki bhavati na pashyati tyahuhu. Na pashyati. Eki bhavati means that the sense of sight, sense organ. Eye doesn't go anywhere, but the sense of sight, that is what the sense of sense is. Okay, Chakshurindriyam. That Chakshurindriyam eki bhavati. It converges into one. Everybody goes towards this one, Jiva. Eki bhavati na pashyati tyahu. Eki bhavati na jigrati tyahu. Doesn't smell. What happens to the organ of smell? Well, it's all going. It's all going. It's all going. Okay. Eki bhavati na rasayate tyahu. Okay. Eki bhavati na vadati tyahu. The person doesn't speak, doesn't taste. What happened to the taste? Organ of taste. Nothing happened to the organ of taste. It's all going. You know how it's going? I thought of an example. They're all waiting to catch a flight. Imagine they're all in the airport. Suddenly the announcement is made. Departure of so-and-so flight from Delhi to Coimbatore. And guess what happens? Guess what happens? Everybody comes from all. Somebody is in the restaurant, somebody is in the restroom, somebody is sitting in that corner, somebody is drinking water somewhere else, somebody is reading newspaper. So many things are happening. You know what happens to all of them? Everybody, you can see the motion of all these particles. You have to see a top view of this. You'll see all these people coming towards this gate, gate number 6. Everybody is lining up. This is what Vridarani population is saying. Okay, I think this example I came up. Okay, so in case sometimes I say, I always tell Swamiji tells this example I came up. Okay, so I am happy to take credit for that. So the Eki Bhavati, they all disparate, they all become one, and then they are going to one place, one aircraft is going to take off, all one. Eki Bhavati. Okay, and so Manashashtani Indriyani Karshati Ishvaraha. Drags all of this. All sense organs are very much there. It's all there. Sukshma Sharira is going. That's the body. That's the body. Prakriti Sthani. Prakriti Sthani. Prakriti here refers to Deha. These sense organs which are there in this body, Sthula Shariram, are taken away, dragged away. Okay. So, Ishvaraha, that also we saw. Then what? Shariram yadavapnoti chapyut kamati ishvara. So we're going to continue because we read both shlokas, right? So now come to shloka number 8. Okay. Yes. See, how did it work? Yat cha api utkramati. When the time of death comes, then Ishvaraha, again from shloka number 8, Manaha Shashtani Indriyani Prakritistani Karshat. I hope you got that, correct? That Anvaya you got. Now what is remaining? Shariram Yadavapnoti. When the time comes to take on the new body, Shariram Yadavapnoti, what happens? Grihitva Etani Sanyati. Okay? Grihitva. So having grabbed all the Grihitva, having grabbed all these Sukshma Sharira, no? They have to. This Jiva, Ishvara is as dragging them. Sanyati takes, drags, and then carries them forward to the next jiva. Okay. Next jiva. So he doesn't say what the next jiva is. Here, he's not going to say. Next life, he doesn't say. But we know what the next life is, correct? Yes or no? What type of life? Roughly, do we have an idea? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, 8th chapter. 8th chapter. अंतकाले च मामेव स्मरणुक्तक स्मरण मुक्त्वा कलेवरम तम तमय वैति सदा तद्भाव भावितः. That's one.
Bad.
That's
That's
one.
good.
That's one.
That's good.
There
That's
are other
good.
ones too.
Other ones are there. Nahi
Yes.
kalyana kaschit durgatim tata gacchati ushitva shashvati samaha shuchinam shrimatam gehe yoga brashto vijayate. That is people like us. Means people who are already in tune with the Shastram. And then something happens. Then Krishna gives that assurance that, this journey will continue. It won't be just lost like that. Then one more thing we read. Recently we read. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastaha madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaganya gunavrittistaha adho gachanti tamasaha. Like that also we some indication. I mean, this Bhagavad Gita is not a
Shukla Krishna gati yate jagate shashvate mate.
Jagati Shashvate Mate Shukla. So these are two directions that Krishna was talking. All right, so rough idea. Gita is not a shastram of next birth and all that, but just some indications we get. All right. Shariram yad avapnoti. when it is time to gain another body. Yada, yada means yada, when yada, jab, okay, and grihitva etani. Etani means what? Manaha shashtani indriyani. That is etani. Etani. Grihitva, having taken it. You have to now imagine that you are shifting houses. From one home, you're going to, or one house, you're going to another house. What do? Just take everything, put it in various boxes, and then you go to the new house. Then what? You take the toothpaste and put it in the kitchen? No. Take the shoes and put it in the living room? No, not like that. Not at all like that. And then take your clothes and put it in the restroom? No. It's not at all like that. Everybody seems to know exactly where things should go. Okay? Furniture doesn't go into all this. Sofa doesn't go into some small puja room. It doesn't do. You know exactly where everything should go. Like that. These sense organs. The sense of sight, where will it go? It won't go to the legs. It will go wherever the new jiva requires it. That connection is also clear. Otherwise, it will be a total mess. Everything has to, because Sukshma Sharira is traveling and it has to go inside another being. And each has to find its place. Sukshma Sharira is not one homogeneous entity. It is the list. Saptadasa Kalavisaha, 17 elements are there in the Sukshma Sharira. So it's the same Sukshma Shariram applies to every jiva, including a plant. Plant means pada. What happens to the pada? Legs, locomotion. No job for that particular Pani pada, right? Pani is hands, pada is legs. Legs don't have a function in that jiva. For some time, the leg aspect of the locomotion aspect of the Sukshma Sharira doesn't have any job. Sitting in the back bench. Okay? So, they say in IT language, they use sitting the bench and all. They use all these words. I don't like all these words. Bench, sit in the bench. What is the sit in the bench? Hey, you're employing me. I have to sit in the bench. I don't like this language. I was very upset when I first heard this. Sitting the bench until you get a new assignment. That means the companies, we have all become we have converted humans into resources. I think that's where all problem is. The minute human is converted into a resource, then you can throw this guy wherever you want. Just go sit there for some time until I call you. Anyway, that's different. But this pada sits in the back bench, okay, for some time. And then here, Krishna is giving an example. Okay. Vayuhu gandhan iva ashayat. Please make a note here how to split this. Vayuhu gandhan. Split there as gandhan. Iva. And then ashayat. That's the way to split this. Otherwise, it will be very, very confusing. Then gandhani, because sashtani is there, indriyani is there, therefore gandhani, that's not correct. Gandhaha, masculine, so gandhan. All right, so he's giving the example of this vayu, wind. Just like the wind carries the fragrances and the odors, gandhan. Just like means Eva is just like vayu, gandhan, sanyati. Make a copy of the word sanyati. Just like the wind takes the fragrances, carries the fragrances along with it, and then deposits it somewhere else. We should in brackets. Okay. From where does it do that? Ashayat. Ashaya means a container, a place where there is fragrance, like a flower. Or, if you walk in India, you get all kinds of fragrances. And somebody will be making bhaji and pakodas and all that will be there. So that's also fragrance only, people, because there's a big line of people there. And so that means they like that fragrance. And then restaurant, the another kind of fragrance comes. And of course, flowers are all there, even on the streets. So like this, different fragrances will be there. So any place where there is fragrance just coming out is called Ashaya. Ashaya. Often they translate that as a flower. Okay, flower. It's natural, We don't want to give the example of pakoda and all that here. So flower, let's say flower. So iva vayuhu ashayat gandhan sanyati. Iva. Just like the wind would carry fragrances from its sources to wherever it needs to go. Like that, Jiva carries the Sukshma Sharira from one Shariram to another Shariram. One Sthula Shariram to another Sthula. Okay? And how long it takes for all this to happen and all, Krishna is not interested in talking about all that. He's saying rest are details. If you want to know, you just consult other acharyas and all these things. He's saying, and he's going to move on. And so that is, nobody knows that. And see, we have an idea of time. 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, then 1 paksha, 2 weeks, then 1 month, ekamasaha, 1 month, 1 year. All this we have an idea. To have a baby, you have to wait so many months. Okay, for your small tree to sprout, it will take some days like that, some week, 1 week like that. This idea of time we have. So the minute the jiva travels and becomes another jiva, the time scales are all very different. No need to assume that our idea of time scale is the same idea of time scales in other lokas. You know why? We already know. In our dream, just one night you slept, you dreamt. You already had 3 children, they got married, they had children, and drama going on. Everything happened within what? And you ask the scientists, they say REM and all is of 3 minutes or something. In 3 minutes, you started a whole family? How is it possible? Time scale is different, my dear friends. Dream time scale itself is different from Jagat, this Jagrat time scale. The sense of time is all different. So we are not going to know. And so that is why they say this Shraddham, when we do once a year, this 1 year for us is like 1 day for them, like that. So clearly that we acknowledge the time scales are all different. So I think our people have been very practical. I feel they've been very practical under the circumstances, not knowing anything about this. What happens after that? Who's going to know all these things? Still, they figured out all this, and they created a system for us. I think that's just magnificent. Good. So that concludes the shlokas 7 and 8. Okay. I think we are ready to translate both 7 and 8 right now. So what is the summary of these 2 shlokas? My amsha, I am there in the jiva also. Number one. And at death, that Sukshma Sharira, this jiva, goes along to another body. Vasamsi jirnani yatha divaya, namani grinnati naroparani, etc. Just like the second chapter. The jiva draws the Sukshma Sharira towards itself and then takes. He doesn't say next body and all, he doesn't talk. At the time of death, this is what happens. That's what he says. All right. So it will be interesting for you to do an Adhyaya on this one. Okay? Try that out. Because it spans 2 shlokas. All right. Translation. The world of living beings. This is Pujya Swamiji's translation. So in the world of living beings, A part of me alone, a part of me alone exists as the jiva, comma, exists as the jiva. A part of me alone exists as the jiva, comma, which is eternal. Full stop. Which is eternal. In the world of living beings, a part of me alone exists as the jiva, which is eternal. Okay, next sentence. When the one who rules the body departs, when the one who rules the body departs, look at that. Ishvara is being translated as one who rules, within brackets, the body. When the one who rules the body departs, comma, he draws to himself the five senses and the mind. He draws to himself. Draws to means pulls towards. He draws to himself the five senses and the mind, comma. All right. And the mind, comma, the sixth, comma. Shashtani, you know. Mind, the sixth, comma. Obtaining in the body. Prakritisthani. Obtaining in the body. Means present in the body. Full stop. See, this is a very unique, this is a, only Indians do this kind of stuff. You know, obtaining in the body means we don't use this in a common discussion. Where do you obtain? Where do you obtain? What kind of language is that? Where are you from? You're from Mars? In America, they will say, you're from Mars or what? This guy is from Mars, they will say. Means what? What language is that? What are you talking? Obtaining in the body. Where do you obtain means where do you live? Okay. But here we say, see, this is why it's difficult to translate these shlokas. Literally, you can't translate. Very difficult. So anyway, obtaining in the body. Full stop. When he obtains a new body, when he obtains a new body, comma, he means jiva. Okay, when he obtains a new body, he goes, he goes. Okay, am I audible? Yeah, there's a power cut. Thanks to all these batteries, we're working. All right. When he obtains a new body, he goes taking these, he goes taking these, he goes taking these means within brackets, manaha, shashtani, indriyani, the sense organs and the mind. He goes taking these within brackets, the sense organs and the mind. Okay. With him, just as the wind, just as the wind, within brackets, would carry, just as the wind would carry the fragrance from their sources, the fragrance from their sources. Within brackets, the flowers. would carry the fragrance from their sources, in brackets, the flowers. Okay, let's repeat this. In the world of living beings, a part of me alone exists as the Jiva, which is eternal, full stop. When the one who rules the body departs, comma, he draws to himself the five senses and the mind, comma, the sixth, comma, obtaining in the body, full stop. When he obtains a new body, comma, he goes taking these, the sense organs and the mind, with him, just as the wind would carry the fragrance from their sources, the flowers. Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokadhiramam Sriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.